These are the exercises for Futato chapter 17. First section, attributive demonstratives. So let's take them. Number one, hapeh hazeh. Again, notice we have our definite agreement. These are attributives, so we're going to have agreement in gender, number, and definiteness. So number one, this mouth. Number two, hamishpacha hazot, this family. 3, ha'oyavim ha'eleh, these enemies. Number 4, harosh hahu, that head. Number 5, habat hahi, that daughter. Number 6, ha'avadim ha'hem, those servants. Number 7, HaTorah Hazot, this law. Number 8, Haben Hahu, that son. Number 9, Halechem Hazeh, this bread. Number 10, Hamilchamot Ha'eleh, these battles. Number 11, Ha'anashim Hatovim Hahem. Notice here we have noun, adjective, normal adjective, and then demonstrative. Those good men. And number 12, Haregel Hateme'ah Hahi, that unclean foot. Second section, predicate demonstratives. Number 1, Zeh Habayit, this is the house. Now let's look at this. This, we have the demonstrative here. This, the house. Again, with predicate use, there is no definiteness. There's no definite article out here on the demonstrative. So you have to translate this predicatively. You have to supply a predicate relationship, usually the copulative verb, the to be verb. So we have this is the house. Number 2, Zot ha'isha, this is the woman. Number 3, Eleh hadevarim, these are the words. Number 4, Hu haderek, that is the way. In other words, we have that and the way, so we have to supply is. Number 5, He hamalkut, that is the kingdom. 6, Haim hasefarim, those are the scrolls or the books, however you want to translate that. Number 7, Zot ha'aretz, this is the land. Number 8, Eleh hanashim, these are the women. And number 9, Zeh hamelech, this is the king. Relative pronouns, section D. Number 1, Hamelech Asher Malak, the king who reigned. So here's the king, relative pronoun who, and then Malak, this is the verb. Again, no prefix and no suffix, so this is a perfect form, most simple form, Cal perfect, third masculine singular, he reigned. So the whole thing is the king who reigned. You wouldn't say the king who he reigned. Again, the relative pronoun in English has to be combined coherently with the verb. So number 2, Ha'isha asher shalacha, the woman who sent. Number 3, Hanevi'im asher ameru. Again, notice the plural verb form out here. So we have the prophets who said. Number 4, Hakesef asher babayit, the money or the silver that or which, again, just depends on what you want to choose. The money which is in the house. Number 5, Mekomot asher yashav, the places which he lived. Now in English, you could smooth this, either the places in which he lived, or you could translate asher as where, the places where he lived. It's up to you. Number 6, Hazahav asher lachak, the gold which he took, or the gold that he took. Number 7, Zevakim asher al mizbeach, sacrifices, here's our plural noun, which upon the altar, or on the altar. Sacrifices which or that are on the altar. Again, I put which or that in just depending. It would depend really on the precision of your English grammar that you care about in translation, but just so that you know that either one is in theory acceptable. Number 8, Halechem asher akal, the bread which he ate, or that he ate. And number 9, Banim asher yazeu, sons who went out. Parsing. Shamartem, is there a prefix? No, that means this must be a perfect, and we've only had the cal so far, so cal perfect. Second masculine plural. Number 2, baniti, is there a prefix? Nope. So we have a perfect, cal perfect, first common singular from bana. Again, the third hey changes to a yod before the suffixed ending. Yipol, a little more difficult. Do we have a prefix? Yes, we do. It's the yod. We don't have a lemma yafal. And we see the dagesh dot in this consonant, second consonant in the form. And that is because a first noon has assimilated. So our lemma is nafal, which would mean the yod here is in fact a prefix. So we have a cal imperfect, third masculine singular from nafal. Number 4, ta'aleh. Do we have a prefix? Yes, we do. Our lemma is Allah. So we have another imperfect, cal imperfect, either third feminine or second masculine singular from Allah. Yiga'u. Do we have a prefix? Carefully. Yes, we do. There's that dagesh where it sort of shouldn't be. Again, when you first learned dageshes. But we know here that if we have this letter, yod could or could not be a prefix. Okay. Do we have yaga in our vocab? That's our first check down. No, we don't. And then we notice the dagesh, and we think, okay, that might be an indication of a noon assimilation. So do we have naga in vocabulary? Sure enough, we do. So that means that this is a prefix. And with the u ending, we know it's cal imperfect, third masculine plural from naga. Kalinu, prefix? No. We have a cal perfect then, first common plural from kala. Again, the third hey changes to a yod before the consonantal ending. This should be like breathing to you by this point. More parsing. Katatem, is there a prefix? Nope, that means it's a cal perfect, second masculine plural. The tem ending is a dead giveaway. Egle, do we have a prefix? Yes, we do. We know aleph is a prefix here because gala is our lemma. So we have a cal imperfect, first common singular. Yisa, do we have a prefix? The yod is in fact a prefix. Again, we know that from vocabulary. We don't have yasa as a lemma, and also the dagesh. We think, oh, that might indicate noon assimilation. Do we have nasa as a lemma, verb lemma? Sure we do. That's familiar. So we have a cal imperfect, third masculine singular. Ga'ala, do we have a prefix? No. We know that because our lemma, ga'al, is, again, we've memorized our vocabulary, so we know what that is. And so therefore we have a cal perfect, third feminine singular from ga'al. Translation. Banu ha'av ve'habein et habayet hazeh. Several things here to notice. We have a verb out front that's plural. Banu, there's no prefix, it must be perfect. We only have two consonants, so when we run in that situation, either something has disappeared from the front or the back. And we know bana as a lemma, so third hey, that accounts for the form. So they built, well, who's the subject? Well, it's ha'av and ve'habein. The father and the son built, direct object marker, habayet hazeh, this house. Number 2, lo tegah et Zivki asher al hamizbeach. So we have a negator, then we have a verb form. Tega, is there a prefix? Yes, there is. The tav here is a prefix, and again we know that either from vocab or we notice the dagesh, or excuse me, the dot here that shows assimilation from a first noon. Our lemma would be naga, again to touch. So you will not touch what? Et zivki. We have zavach as our lemma, our vocab form, our noun, and then with a suffix, first common singular suffix. You will not touch my sacrifice, which upon the altar, which is on or upon the altar. Again, we have to supply is here to make sense in English. Number 3, matzati et hakesef asher b'makom hahu. Verb form out front. Is there a prefix? Nope. So that means it's a cal perfect. T tells us it's first common singular. So I found, direct object marker, hakesef, the silver or the money, which we have to supply was b'makom hahu. Okay, we have agreement in gender, number, and definiteness. We have hahu, and then notice here, ba, there's the definite article. So in that place. I found the silver which was in that place. Number 4, kara nevi Adonai bekol gadol. We have kara is our verb form, no prefix, no suffix. That means it's cal perfect, third masculine singular. He called out. But who's the he? Who's the subject? Well, it's Nevi Adonai. The prophet of the Lord called out bekol gadol, with a loud voice, or with a great voice. It's not the loud voice because there's no definite article, but there's still agreement here in definiteness because neither one has the definite article. Number 5, ba'et hahi tidrosh et ha'elohim ha'chaim bekol libecha uvkol nafshcha. Number of things here. Let's go for the verb first. Again, a little difficulty here because we don't have our verb right up front. We have here tidrosh is the first thing we can recognize as a verb. Is there a prefix? Yes, because we know our lemma is darash. We know et Elohim, here's a direct object marker with the direct object, and so on and so forth. So we have here ba'et hahu. Now you have to know your vocab here, but 8 is our noun, and then, excuse me, ha-he. 8 is our noun, he is our demonstrative. There's a definite article here, and there's also one here because we have here, this is actually the definite article underneath the preposition bet, but it's not the patak, it's comets because of the guttural right here. So let's put our translation up. At that time is how you would translate this phrase. Again, ba'et hahi. At that time you will seek. Seek what? What's the direct object? Et. You will seek God or gods, but then we have an adjective. Chachayim. Again, we have agreement in gender, number, and definiteness. So the living God or the living gods, but again in context, biblically, this is going to be you will seek the living God. Bekol livka, with all your heart. There's our noun with a suffix, with all your heart. And then there's our conjunction, and with all your soul. Again, the rest of it's pretty much straight vocabulary. Number 6, chazakim avdei hamelech me avdei hakohen. We have here the servants of the king. Okay, avdei, this is a noun and construct. Again, you see the noun and construct, you should be, again, thinking the construct relationship. So the servants of the king, and then chazakim. We don't have a verb here. If you look at this, we don't have a verb. So we have here an adjective, and the adjective is in the predicate relationship. So the servants of the king are strong. Again, translating the adjective predicatively with this noun phrase. The servants of the king are strong, but they are strong from Avdei, the servants, HaKohen, the servants of the priest. And again, in English that's awkward, so we translate are stronger than, because here we have me Avdei. This is the preposition min attached to Avdei, and it converts to me. Again, you have to think back here. It converts to me because normally when min is attached to a noun, the noon will assimilate, but it doesn't assimilate here into a guttural. Rather, it drops, and that leaves the I vowel, the mi from min, will lengthen to indicate, to compensate. It's called compensatory lengthening. Futato mentioned it, but it's a min. Regardless of whether you remember all that stuff, what you have here is you have a noun you know in the plural construct, so avdei, and the only thing that can really be put on the front of a noun is a preposition, and the only preposition you have that begins with mem is the preposition min. So you should be able to deduce what this form is. Preposition min plus the noun plural and construct. And once you know this is min, when you have this adjective out here, you should be thinking, again, comparative use of min. So the servants of the king are stronger than the servants of the priest. That one was a little trickier, but not something that you couldn't get to. Number 7, lo avar ami hakadosh et beriti. So we have negator, avar, here was our verb. Again, we know our vocabulary, so we know this is a verb. Is there a prefix? Nope. Must be a cal perfect then. So ami, that's probably going to be the subject, and we have to incorporate the adjective. So my holy people will not break or will not transgress et beriti, the covenant of me. Here's a noun with a suffix, my covenant. Number 8, ze zehav imenu asher natana ladonah. We have here this. It's not this gold. Again, we don't have, we don't have a situation where we have we have definiteness, because we don't have the definite article on the demonstrative here. So we have this is the gold imeni, the gold of our mother. So here we have a noun. Now watch this. We have a noun, and here's another noun. Noun plus noun, you think construct relationship. And the second noun just happens to have a suffix. So gold of our mother. This is the gold of our mother, which natana, verb form, no prefix, third feminine singular form, which would make sense because the gold of our mother which she gave to Adonai, the master or the lord of her master, her lord. To, of course, is the preposition, and it has this, you have the patak and then the hatef patak. So because this is a patak, you might be thinking definiteness here, but what this is shava shava, and it changes to the patak here. If you remember when Futato discussed what happens when two shavas collide, if the second one is a compound, the first one will change to the corresponding vowel form. So we have la Adonai, to her lord or to her master. Really, the suffix makes it definite in terms of its meaning anyway. It's a specific master. But anyway, let's move on. Hebrew Bible excerpts. Ze hayom asher natan Adonai et Sisera beyadika. And again, I took this from the book, so the little footnote I can't show you here, but you can look in Futato's grammar. We have here Ze hayom, this is the day. Again, we don't have a definite article out here on the demonstrative, so we need to translate it predicatively. So this is the day which Natan Adonai, Verb form, no prefix, no suffix, third masculine singular. The subject is Yahweh, the Lord, which the Lord gave, okay, et Sisera. Sisera, he gives you that, into Yadaka, into your hand, into the hand of you. This is the day that the Lord gave Sisera into your hand. Now you could, in English, smooth it out to this is the day in which the Lord gave Sisera into your hand. You could even translate this is the day when the Lord gave Sisera into your hand. Again, it just depends on how you want to handle that. Number 2. Bayom hahu karat Adonai et Avram berit. And Avram is with Abram. Again, remember, the direct object marker can also be the preposition et. They're spelled the same. They're homonyms. And he's giving you that here. If he hasn't already given you et as the preposition in your vocab, well, he just did. It means with. So most of the time, though, you're going to see this. It's going to be the direct object marker, but it could be the homonym, the preposition with. So let's go back here. Bayom hahu, in that day or on that day. Karat is a verb. Okay, no prefix and no suffix, so third masculine singular, cal perfect. On that day, the Lord cut, and this is a Hebrew idiom, to cut a covenant. We translate it in English usually to make a covenant, but on that day, the Lord cut with Abram a covenant. He made a covenant with Abram. That's from Genesis 15. And finally, number 3, Zot beriti asher tishmeru. So we have our demonstrative and then a noun with a suffix. There's our relative pronoun. And then we have a verb form, prefix, yes, right here. We know our lemma is shamar. So we should be able to translate this one very easily. This is my covenant. Again, there's no article out here. So we have to translate this predicatively. This is my covenant which you shall keep, or you will keep. That's the end of the video for the exercises in Futato chapter 17.